Hello, everyone. So I hope you're all doing well. It's a very gorgeous day today, and it's the start of summer, or the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. And if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's the start of the winter solstice. So, yeah, it's kind of a holiday for me. But anyway, today's video, what I wanted to really do is help you understand what it's like to be Jesus here on this earth, what he had to go through, basically just a little glimpse into his life, and not the way that religions and Christianity want you to think his life was, like it was some glorious thing that he came here and he felt awesome all the time. No, that's not the case. It was actually very difficult for him. So, besides Jesus feeling like an outsider all the time, even though he was surrounded by people, no one could truly relate to him in this 3D realm. So there was that. There was also, which I mentioned in an earlier video, there was also him being called crazy and mentally unstable by his own family. And these family members spreading these rumors that he was crazy because they truly did not understand Jesus once he was aware of who he was. And this is actually why he said in Mark chapter 6, verse 4, that a prophet is not without honor except in his own town and among his relatives and his own home. So for those of you who think that Jesus had this great family life and his mother was there for him, his father was there for him, his siblings, no, that's not true. He actually was rejected by most of them, except for a few relatives that were still loving toward him, like cousins and that type of thing. But this was his reality. Also, ignorant, or I'll say low vibrational beings, constantly resisting everything he said and taught. Always being watched and criticized for everything that you did. So you could be seen as ungodly and, disproven that you're actually sent from the true God. The other thing Jesus had to deal with is having these so-called religious leaders and even people who felt that they were well versed in the law trying to tell him that they knew more about God than he himself did. And even telling him more about himself than they even knew. Like, they're telling him about who he is, like they know better, when he's literally right there with them. So, even though he was a direct energy from God, these individuals insisted that they knew better than him. That would be like someone from a completely different country, okay, basically reading an article about you that is mostly false, and then when they actually meet you in their country, okay, they end up telling you about who you are, who your parents are, and what your life was about, when you yourself would know better. So what do? Do you argue with these people? No, because it's pointless. You have to realize at a certain point that they just won't get it no matter what. So after trying to make them understand, Jesus knew who he was, knew where he was from. Without a doubt, he did not have to question it one bit. So there was no point in trying to prove to anyone who he was or what he was about. the way he would prove it is by showing it in his behavior. So these are a few things, but even his message that he was trying to bring to humanity to really help them was rejected because he appeared too common to people. They were expecting something great and out of the ordinary when he truly was. But because he appeared so common, just like an average human, and was raised by human parents with human siblings and had relatives, like I said, all of these normal things that a human would have, he was rejected because it made it difficult for humankind to believe the source from which he came. Another problem for Jesus was that he did come from a place where he knew 100% what true divine love is. So when he came to show this unconditional love that was so deep and so unselfish that humanity could not fully grasp or understand it, and therefore they thought that Jesus was a fake or had other motives when he was just being genuine, just like the God that he came to represent. Now imagine just trying to show love and even your love being rejected because individuals were not used to that level of love, compassion, and empathy. Then, this is just a little bit, but after all of these things that Jesus willingly went through to help humankind because of love, after all that, his teachings are corrupted to give glory to this counterfeit God who actually rebelled against the God that he came to represent. Like, how would you feel? You literally came, gave your all, and then it's almost like it's for nothing. So, of course, you have to come back to try and fix the situation again and go through the same thing all over again. Why? Because of love. That's why. So this was just a little explanation of all the things Jesus went through just to help humanity. Okay, so that's it for today. I think in my next video, what I'll do is actually explain more about God. Actual God. Not concepts or what people think or feel, but the true God. Not what man has made God to be. Because what the Bible has made God to be is this heartless, unloving energy that is biased, fickle, and selfish. And that's anything but what she's about. Okay, I'm going to go. Take care, everyone. Love you. Bye.